R&D, and certainly technology is really critical to where we are and what's going to be in front of us in terms of opportunities that continue to come. And then I was going to talk a little bit about what DOE is doing in the public-private partnership space and really with leaders across the country, because I think so much of where we're going to go in the future, you've already heard people in the panel speak to. It really is through ongoing leadership in terms of what is happening on the ground in various communities, states, and all across the country. So again, I'm very pleased to be here to be able to do this. I do oversee a fairly vast portfolio at the department. It does include research, appliance standards, federal energy management, a variety of partnerships, low-income weatherization, and certainly places where I think we've been making tremendous progress the last bunch of years. Of course, energy efficiency isn't the only thing the department does. Energy efficiency is part of an all-of-the-above strategy, because I think what we're all trying to do is have a portfolio of options for any number of reasons. Driving toward clean, affordable, secure, reliable energy. That's really the long-term goal here. Certainly I have a particular love for energy efficiency. I've spent most of my career on energy efficiency. I did a few other things with clean energy and methane emissions earlier at EPA. But at DOE, it's all been about efficiency, and I think it's, I don't even know what words to use about efficiency these days. It's what people talk about: win-win, win-win-win. It's like trifecta. It's like there's so many wins, right? It's the lower bills. It's you avoid future expensive infrastructure. You reduce air pollution. You can build jobs locally. So I think it's really why I like doing what I do. And you know that what you do is really very good for communities in terms of economic growth, in jobs, and doing all the things that we would like to have more of in our communities and really across the country. So you can tell I care. But let's step back up a bit and look at some of the broader trends about energy efficiency and our economy, because I think one of the other messages we heard a lot about this morning was that this just really all does make economic sense, and it really makes economic sense at the macro level as well as on the ground, and you've heard a bunch of the sort of more local stories. If you go back several decades, what we see is that we've made tremendous progress on efficiency. We have an economy that has tripled in size from 1970. During that period of time, our energy productivity, or what it is that we get from every unit of energy from an economic output standpoint, has doubled. And when you look at why that is, about 60 to 75% of that improvement in economic productivity or energy productivity is credited to an increase in energy efficient products and services. And of course that means that we have saved really hundreds of billions of dollars on our energy bills over this period of time. So just tremendous benefits to our economy when you sort of follow that through in terms of what's happening locally on the ground. And there's other very important indicators of progress as well, more broadly than energy efficiency. One of the groups out there that puts out sort of a state of affairs, so to speak, is Bloomberg Finance in partnership with the Business Council for Sustainable Energy. They actually just released their fact book. And their core finding, which I think is relevant today, is that sustainable energy is the new normal. So why is it that they're able to say something like that? Well, one is that if you look at coal-fired plants, we're finding that the fleet, and because of retirement, such as the Navajo plant and others, I think there's something like a list of 40 coal-fired plants around the country that are currently planned for retirement. And we are seeing that the fleet has shrunk to date over 10% since 2011 with more retirements planned. We also are seeing what's being replaced, what's coming into the mix to replace those power plants. Well, renewables are now providing 15% of our power, up from 8% in 2007. And if you look at the capacity additions in the last 2 years, 70% of the capacity additions were renewable energy for each of the last 2 years. So that's a pretty interesting set of things to look at. And then what's going on sort of on the really important part or side of energy prices, right? We now see that energy prices are low and falling with some of the lowest prices that we've seen for a while, particularly with gas prices for commercial consumers. And what we're now seeing is that households are spending or dedicating less of their household dollars to energy than any other time on record. So that's really, really a lot of very great things that are going on for our households and our communities. But those of us, of course, that work on energy efficiency and know that you can deliver efficiency at half the cost of bringing in new supplies, regardless of what those new supplies are, suggest there's still, a lot more we can keep doing with energy efficiency, even with conditions of lower prices. So I think, again, this is all good. So what is going on the technology side of things? I'm always stunned by some of the examples that are out there. Some of them are sort of historical. They're sort of like these case examples that I like to go through because you can sort of really get your head around them. I mean, just look at today's refrigerator. I'm going to have to think more about the convention microwave. I haven't sort of caught up with that one yet. But so refrigerators that we all use every day, if you just walk back in time just a couple decades, that we're now using a quarter of the energy for a refrigerator as we were just a few decades ago. They are bigger with more features, and the other part of the equation here, which is really the kicker, is they cost half as much to purchase at the point of purchase. So that's just a great technological story. And it's similar for some of the other things going into our homes. Air conditioners use half the energy as they used to, clothes washers, other home appliances. Our modern windows with low E coatings are saving billions. And of course I talk about some of these because the department's R&D program before I got there really have played a big role in a lot of these things. I think one of the major technological transformations that we also all want to be alert to, though it's sort of just happening as we go about our day-to-day lives, is the one with lighting. This is a place where the department has had a 15-year or more R&D program working with leading lighting manufacturers in R&D. And what's happening there right now is really just stunning. LED costs have dropped by nearly 94% since 2008. I mean, that's stunning. The bulbs themselves use 85% less energy, right? These are just stunning numbers. And they live longer. They're bringing to the marketplace new features around color tuning. Be interesting to see what we're going to do with all of that. And of course, new capabilities with controls and other things that offer even greater opportunities. We estimate they're already saving consumers something on the order of $2.8 billion, and that within 20 years we will be saving $50 billion annually on our lighting bills.